no balls fall. You want good words? Data language.
Talk real sports with a real man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
And now, here's the be-all, end-all, know-it-all of high school, college, and pro sports. Aaron Skinny Count with the Skinny on Sports.
We're talking about practice, man. I'm the MVP.
Good Monday morning. It is the Skinny on Sports. It's definitely been a Monday already as we're scrambling to get things around, get things going today. Jared Eighth is sitting in the studio. Aaron getting ready to come on here just a little bit. Crazy weekend in sports. A lot happening in sports. Of course, the biggest story, Game 7 on Saturday night. Thunder season comes to an end. We'll break that down. And probably do a lot of that through most of it. I'd personally like to talk about OU Baseball. They exploded with runs over the weekend, forcing a Game 7 tonight at Georgia Tech, a chance to take out the number 2 overall seed in the NCAA baseball tournament. Number 1 overall seed went down in UCLA. St. Mary's took them down yesterday. Of course, so I'm trying to inject some positivity for the state of
There's no positive,
Oklahoma
Jared.
sports.
Jared, I can't even believe the sun came up
Yeah, I guess everybody just wants to.
yesterday. I can't believe the sun came up.
Well, it came up, and it was pretty darn hot.
It was black, and it was silver.
You know, the good thing about a Game 7 on a Saturday night when you lose it is sometimes we need Jesus. And it's on a Saturday, so we can get up and go to church on Sunday and kind of put things in perspective. The sermon that was given at our church I was like, you know what? That makes total sense for what after we went through about putting life into perspective. I think he planned that, actually.
All right, do you think he had a winning one and a losing one?
He probably had one, a sermon for winning, a sermon for losing. Mm-hmm. And, they're probably both in the same, if you think about it.
We will talk a little spring sports at the end, with OU Baseball, OSU Baseball, where the Women's College World Series sits, also the golf tournament. The National Golf Tournament final stroke play round is today. Both in-state schools are in position to be in the match play bracket starting tomorrow. So we'll get to that. But listen, this is going to be a huge Thunder show. Not only moving forward, there's a lot of people not happy with one guy in particular, especially after Saturday. What to do with Chet, Lou Dort, Isaiah Hartenstein, maybe some of those bench pieces that seem so important in the regular season, i.e. Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins that can't even get on the floor in the playoffs. I think that the Thunder moving forward, you have to have that team in your mind as far as how you construct your own. How do you beat them? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying before the series started.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be the case. That is who. I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about whether or not we think that the Thunder are chasing the Spurs now or not. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, just because of of who wasn't there. But that's definitely the challenger, or the 1A and 1B in the Western Conference, at least, moving forward. What do you think? What do you want to see, and what do you think they'll do? Because those could be two radically different things. We'll talk about Game 7. Why did Oklahoma City lose? How many years ahead are the Spurs? I mean, everybody's known that the Spurs are coming, right? I mean, as soon as they drafted Victor Wembanyama.
Not even then. It was when they won the lottery.
Yeah. So, I mean, but how many years are they ahead of what you might have thought? Well, and then not just Game 7, but the entire series. What are the biggest reasons for Oklahoma's demise in the Oklahoma City's demise in the Western Conference Finals? 225-9698 is the phone to the text line. That is 225-9698. Give us a call, shoot us a text. We can talk about any of those things. Whatever else might be on your mind, feel free to chime right in at 225-9698. If you're going to be outside the listening area one of these days, you want to stay in touch with the show, it's easy. Log on to kadsam.com or download the app. Paragon app. It's free. It's got everything. Radio, Penny News. Brand new edition of that Penny News. coming up tomorrow night at midnight online at thepennynews.com. PlayItLive.net. I know there's all kinds of end-of-season softballing going on at the Fiveplex. If you can't make it, you can watch it live there on PlayItLive.net. Also, we have winners, Jared.
Winners.
We have winners of the Senior Showcase.
Oh, cool.
You know, that was the contest that's been running
Yep.
about 6 weeks now for all the seniors, and there was votes. Listen to this. Over 100,000 votes were cast on KECOFM.com.
Dang.
Over 100,000. And the winner, grand prize winner of $500, Delaney Tigner of Sayre High School.
Okay, cool.
She earned almost half of the 100,000 votes. Second place winner receiving $250, Libby Wright of Cheyenne High School. Congratulations to the winners, and thank you to everyone who participated and voted. That's a lot of votes over that short a time span, so we do appreciate that, and congratulations to those young ladies on their win. How was your weekend, Jared?
It was good. Outside the sport watching, I enjoyed even though it was hot, but enjoyed the weather. Did some swimming yesterday. Relaxed. Mowed on Friday night. Yard looks pristine. In fact, it already looks like it needs mowed again.
Whoa, pristine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. This is my favorite time because
you're pleased with it.
I'm very pleased because the effort of aerating and spraying and aerating and fertilizing and throwing down some seed is starting to pay off. It's helped with the rain that we've received. So, it's a good feeling as soon as you're done. As soon as you're done blowing, just sit down, open a beer, and just... It was at that perfect time on Friday night when the sun was going down. I just sat in my front porch and just admired my pristine lawn. Looks nice. And I'm just, taking it all in before we don't receive rain for another 2 months. And I got to struggle to keep it green. But so I enjoy, it's the little things, right? Clean the garage. Saturday was a day of, I didn't,
how in the world did you get out of softball?
Well, 10U is next weekend, or this coming weekend, the end of season. And we didn't have a tournament this weekend. Our league didn't, our league team.
Are they on the same team?
Well, a lot of our girls are on different teams, and then we have our league team. And so James is not on a league team.
Is Katie not is she too old to be in the league now?
Yes and no.
Okay.
They just didn't have a team.
Okay.
She actually will start tomorrow junior high ball over in Hobart. So her junior high career will start tomorrow with a lot of these young ladies, and I'm looking forward to that. I
didn't think about them being past that.
Yeah, we kind of it's like, okay, Coach Gillette, you got them. We hand them off. And some are playing in travel teams. Same thing with 10U. Some are playing in travel teams. Some are just in league teams. James's situation with her shoulder, can't really do anything. But anyways, we had the weekend off. Their league will wrap up next weekend. Okay. And then maybe find a tournament and then state. But so
when is state?
State is June, like 2 weeks from this week. So it might start like the 17th
like Father's
or 18th.
Day? Father's Day weekend.
Yes. Father's Day weekend. Yes. Unfortunately, it's in Weatherford, so we don't have to travel. Like you had to
You never got to go to Salisal 3 times.
What was funny is when they announced on the website like where the sites are. My quick eyes went to 10U, and then I saw Salisal, and my heart skipped a beat. Then I realized I'm looking at baseball. And then I looked closer. I was like, oh, okay, we're only going to have to go to Weatherford. That's not bad. Elk City gets to host another state tournament, by the way.
Yeah, finally.
They get a 12U one again like they had last year. So that's cool. And Clinton gets 8U, so all 3 cities are getting some state tournaments. But I cleaned the garage, and Saturday I had a feeling like I'm not going to be able just to sit down and relax before the game. So I was up doing something. It started Friday night with the mowing, and then I pulled everything away from the walls, swept it out, got the shop back in there, cleaned up the garage, got a little bit more organized, all the way up pretty much to game time. And then yesterday, and had nothing to do because I did everything on Saturday. Yeah. Let the kids play, and then let's get in the pool. Pool's ready. So we got in mother-in-law's pool with the kids, and it was fun.
Our pool's coming around as well. I'm just like minor little cleaning spots that may be hard to get, but yeah, I mean, you can see the bottom. It's clear. I'm now. I don't have any idea how warm it is, but yeah, I'm happy. I was when we got home. Oh my gosh,
the pool was nice. It was like I got in. I mean, because the kids were splashing around, going crazy. I didn't want to be in there with that, but I got in, submerged myself, and then got out. Like, oh, that's refreshing. You know.
See that ours? We don't have a heater. We don't have a cover, like a solar cover or whatever. So ours is always a few degrees cooler than some of the other ones in the neighborhood, which I enjoy because when I want to get in the pool is just when I'm hot. You know,
right?
Like tonight, I'm going to mow tonight because it looks like with the forecast it might be the last chance until next week, and so I have to get the yard mowed.
Right.
And at the end of that, I may dip into the pool for the first time this year to cool off because it's going to be 100.
That's what a pool's for, to cool you off.
I think so too. I mean, anyways.
When I was in high school, I was telling TJ this last week, ironically. When I was in high school, I mowed lawns during the summer to make money. Great outfit. A teacher would hire these guys. He had a little mowing business. And so there's always this one house, and she would come out and tell us, hey, jump in the pool. We thought she was joking, but she was like, hey, jump. It was really hot. It was summer. Mm-hmm. She said, jump in the pool. We're like, whatever. And one time I took her up on it. I was like, I'm jumping in your pool. She said, go for it. I mean, it was that hot. And I always remember, like, going to that house, she'd let me jump in her pool just to cool off. But, you know, it's so hot, I'd jump in the pool, get out, and then 10 minutes later, I'm practically dry again. It was so hot. But, no, that's what a pool is for. And if the kids will tell you, no, the pool's for having fun. And it is. But it's nice to have just a place you can get. Like I said, yesterday I got in and then got immediately out. And, you know, then the wind, the breeze, it just cool you off. Just sit there and watch the kids play. And then once I dried off again, I got too hot, I'd just go dip in the pool again. Basically, my vacation routine. If it's just me and Allie, we go to like a place with a pool. We sit by the pool. And if we get too hot, we get in the pool. Then we get out of the pool. Mm-hmm. Pools are cool. I kind of wish I'd built a pool when we built the house, but
when they're great when the water is clear and everything's working. They're a pain when all the smallest little thing and all of a sudden you got a swamp.
Right.
Mustard algae hits out of nowhere because you got heathens going up and down the streets or through who knows what that don't, you know, like use the hose to wash themselves off.
Yeah.
And jump in there and bring some kind of outside bacteria.
So, I mean, Wyatt has friends, and they're boys, and boys are dirty.
That's correct.
Girls are like...
last year, Kara straight up told him, before you get in this pool, you run the water hose on each other after that happened.
The girls will bring the hair product into the pool, you know, or the makeup or whatever there is that, and it will kind of make it cloudy.
We're trying out some new stuff this year, like a weekly. I mean, you got the chlorine, obviously. We're trying out something different, like as a supplement, a weekly supplement that I've seen for like 3 years online. I was like, you know what? Let's try it out. I read the reviews. The reviews are phenomenal about it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully the idea is for that, using that keeps the other stuff from happening.
So, final note on the weekend, then we can move on. But I
got home at 1 this morning.
From baseball?
Yeah.
Yeah, over in Moore?
Yeah, appreciate the Norman Cubs and 450 baseball for playing about 3 extra innings. And appreciate I'm not going to say the name of it even though it doesn't matter. Appreciate a restaurant on the west side of Oklahoma City for keeping us there for an hour 45.
There's no worse feeling when we got last weekend coming home from that tournament. Thankfully, it was Memorial Day weekend, so we had Monday to
I'd love to have Monday.
Allie called me, said, I forgot to get milk. Can you stop somewhere at a Brahms and get milk? And I had a cooler, my Yeti in the back. I thought, yeah, I can get milk. Just put it in the Yeti. It'll stay cool. So I stopped at a Brahms, and it was like immediately after Game 4, and they have that. I could tell that there were people that were straggling in who had went to Paycom to watch because they had their jerseys on and stuff, and they were coming in the Brahms to get some food or something, and they were busy. I mean, I'm sitting there at the checkout with my milk, and they're looking at me, and I was like, I just want to go home. Yeah, please just get over here and check me out.
Yeah.
Difference
here is this place wasn't that busy.
So that's a bummer. That makes sure that food. So that will turn me off from a restaurant quicker than most is bad service.
Yeah, and it wasn't the poor girl's fault. That's why we didn't leave. I looked at Kara. I was like, how long are we going to sit here? We both were like, well, if we leave now and just pay for it, because we had waters and White had a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
I'm like, but the problem is she going to get stuck with the bill? It's not her fault.
So you would put your order in.
Yeah, but I was just about to say, hey, be honest with us. If they haven't started cooking it yet, we'll leave. That way you don't get stuck with all that food.
Yeah.
But about that time, she came back, put down the little things, and then we ate. But boy, howdy. It was just the worst time ever, too, because you're ready to be home. It's 11 o'clock, and you're looking at your watch going, we're still in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
So I did drop I should have planned better to cook food because I had nowhere to be on Saturdays. So when that happens, I usually throw something on the smoker or something. But we didn't. We just got a bunch of food, like finger foods you could heat up in the oven, wings, pretzel bites, potato skins. That was our dinner. Very healthy. And I started thinking, like yesterday I had to go to Ace for something, and I'm just kind of walking around Ace. Of course, I gravitate to the smokers and the grills and the accessories. It's kind of like our toy store, isn't it? And I saw a fryer. I thought, I don't have a fryer. Are you big into frying food? Like deep fry, you know what I mean? Like one of those outdoor propane fryers? See, Allie poo-pooed on it too. She's like, no, we're not going to do that.
Here's the deal. If I fished all the time and would have a fish fry, I would have one.
Well, so I have done my own like beer batter for wings, and it came out great. It's just frying's a mess, especially in the house. The smell, the residue, and everything. So I was like, I need one of these outside. It doesn't matter splattering everywhere or whatever. The smell is, it's outside. And she just like, no, it's not healthy. I thought, you don't have to use it just for frying. We could have a shrimp boil in it. She didn't like the idea. I just like to keep my options open on cooking options, especially outside cooking. So you're not a big fryer?
No.
All right. Well, when I get my fryer, I'll tell you how it is. I'm the only one on this. Allie hates it, the idea. I'm always trying to find different things to cook and different ways to cook it, especially in the summer months and when I can do it outside. But I didn't buy the fryer. But I'm really thinking about it. You ever been to a Thanksgiving where somebody's fried the turkey?
No.
No?
I've never had a fried turkey.
All smoked turkey or just in the oven?
In the oven, yeah. Or I smoke it.
Yeah? The frying turkey thing is... Of course, you always see the video of the firefighters showing you how not to do it. Looks like you're getting some bad news over there.
Yeah, I'm just watching Colin Cowherd.
Oh, no.
It's like, they need a good young... The Thunder got dominated. They need a good young forward to help Shea.
They have one.
Yes.
He didn't play in the series very much.
Yeah.
They got two of them.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny. All right, we'll be back. Talk Thunder next. Skinny on Sports under Rother Brothers Monday.
Rother Brothers Equipment in Clinton is now hiring well-qualified service technicians. If you have 2 or more years of experience repairing heavy agricultural equipment, strong troubleshooting skills, and the ability to read hydraulic and electrical schematics, this could be a great fit for you. Benefits include 401k with profit sharing, 100% employee paid health insurance with eye and dental, paid vacation, holidays, uniforms, and paid service training. This is a great earnings opportunity for qualified candidates. Apply in person at Highway 183 North in Clinton, Oklahoma. Rother Brothers Equipment.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
The Skinny on Sports.
There's no crying in baseball!
Welcome back. Skinny on Sports, 98.1 FM, the sports animal, hanging out here on a Rother Brothers Monday. Thank you to Mike and the gang at Rother Brothers. Highway 183, just north of Clinton. Rother Brothers offers a variety of agricultural and outdoor power equipment that's second to none in all the great state of Oklahoma. Not a friendlier or more knowledgeable staff than the one at Rother Brothers. Happy to help you find the perfect piece of equipment. All the way from Case IH, Polaris, Rhino, Dixie chopper mowers. Don't forget about the Yoder grills, the Yoder smokers. Got it all. Rother Brothers. Kingfisher, Clinton, and Fairview. All right, Jared. Thunder fall in Game 7 at home, 111-103. To be completely transparent, I didn't watch a single second. We were at Moore at Wyatt's baseball games. His first game was supposed to start at 5:55. It did not start until about 6:45 or 6:50. And the darndest thing,
What's that?
where we were in Moore, there was like zero cell service.
Oh, wow.
Like you couldn't even follow along on like the Score app.
Yeah.
You got nothing. It was like this little area in Moore. It was the craziest thing.
That's like...
Now they did have a TV mounted outside the concession stand that was down the way a little bit. And so I took the opportunity every now and again to go maybe check this, just, in between innings. So we go see the score is.
Sure.
So we go check the score.
Right.
So to say I didn't see anything, I did see that. And then listen to the fourth quarter after the baseball games were over with Matt Pinto. But from what I could tell, every time I saw the score, it seemed like San Antonio was ahead. I know that Oklahoma City took a 4-point. A lot of people are pointing to the very end of the first half. Yep. That's sort of the defining moment or the turning point when OKC had battled back to take a 4-point lead, and then the Spurs took a 7-0 run into the halftime locker room, and then coming out of the third quarter, like 14-2 or something like that. Next thing you know, the Thunder were down 14, and they were always kind of there. They were always sort of at arm's length. It seemed like to me when we were able to kind of check scores. SGA had the best game that he had all series. There's no doubt about that. But I think I know Thunder fans are going to want to talk about the negative on their side. But I think the story of Game 7 to me was those young guys from the Spurs who had never been in that spot, ever. And the way they delivered time after time after time. Either OKC would make a run back at them, and then boom, like to begin the fourth quarter. OKC cut it down to 3. What happens? Keldon Johnson, 6th man of the year, bam, bam, threes and back-to-back possessions. All of a sudden, it's back up like to 10. The Thunder make a run middle of the fourth quarter toward the end. Dylan Harper hits just a ridiculous step-back 3 to kind of ice it in my mind. That made it go from 6-9, or maybe it was 8-11 or what, but just, that the shot making and the poise that San Antonio showed in that building as a young team is phenomenal. Because when the Thunder took the lead toward the halftime, that's normally where they bury people. The other team panics, and that 4-point lead is 8. Then OKC gets the ball to start the third quarter because Wemby is going to get the tip every time. And all of a sudden Oklahoma City's up double digits, and then the other team panics and start turning it over, and it's Katie bar the door. San Antonio, give them all the credit in the world for not doing that and not even getting close to doing that. As a matter of fact, looked like the team that had the experience in a lot of those situations to be able to take and make huge shots. So as much as everybody wants to gripe about what didn't happen for the Thunder, I think we have to start out by saying how good and poised that San Antonio was. And they won that game. They were the better team on Saturday. And, individually, he's probably not going to get the credit he deserves because, he's sort of the third or fourth guy that people think about. But this series changed when De'Aaron Fox was able to play because Steph Castle he's not a point guard. He had half of the Spurs only had 12 turnovers in Game 7. He had half of them. I think De'Aaron Fox's ability to take care of the ball and get the Spurs into what they wanted to get into was something that's going to go overlooked, but I think it was one of the biggest keys in the whole series.
Yeah. They kind of reminded me of the way they played of what the Thunder looked like a year ago. Young team, never in that position, hit shots when you needed them, made plays when you needed them, and the rest is history. They do kind of have that mirror image of it. So, and then when the Thunder, can't hit key shots like you need them, and at the end of the second quarter, in the first half, that was key to me too, and it finally felt like, all right, they're taking that momentum. They got the 4-point lead. They're at home. It's going to go into the locker room with momentum. Come out, you're going to see one of those third quarters, like we have been used to seeing, and but then to let them take that momentum back, them being the Spurs and going to the locker room, that for me was a key. I made a point to make. I made a point to text that to somebody. That's like that is not good. So, the Spurs were the better team Saturday night. Everybody wants to, like you said, the sun came up, and everybody wants to focus on the negative and everything. And after processing everything and thinking about it and looking at this series, it went the way, all except the last game, the way I thought it'd be. I thought it'd go 7 games because of how close, how similar these two teams are. And you can't help but wonder what would had happened if the Thunder were 100% healthy. You said it. They're not beating the Spurs without J-Dub. They did not beat they took a couple games without J-Dub, but in a 7-game series, that was going to be a tough ask for the Thunder to do. If they were able to accomplish it, I was leaning on the home court thing. I was leaning on SGA not playing as bad, and he played good. But you got to have Chet. He's got to play better. You can't rely on one guy like SGA to carry you. Chet had to be better. But it does creep into your mind. What would this have been like if J-Dub was not just healthy in this series, but all season long, and which was a kind of a blessing in disguise because it allowed A.J. Mitchell to develop into the player that he became. But then the injury to A.J. So what if both those guys, what if this is a 100% healthy roster? It makes you think, but the what ifs will drive you crazy. That'll drive you nuts. But now there is the question, okay, what to do in the offseason with this team, what the makeup will look like. I said going into this series, this is always going to be a question, not just for the Thunder, but anybody in the West, is how do we compete with San Antonio? How do we defend Wemby? And how do we build a team to defend Wemby? And that's going to be the major question, I think, going into the offseason for the Thunder, outside of the obvious financial situation that they're going to have to address. You're already seeing rumors about Evan Mobley or the interest there out of Cleveland, another big guy getting on the roster. What does that mean for iHeart's future? What does that mean for Chet's future? I don't know, but that's going to be the big question this offseason is what the Thunder do to address that glaring problem of how to defend Wemby.
I don't think it's defending Wemby.
It's not defending Wemby?
I think it's how the hell do you score?
Yeah.
I think that defensively Oklahoma City was way better in this series than they were offensively. And it's because of the guys that they have on the perimeter. They can be in full-fledged attack mode because they've got him back there. seeing people say, well, Shea wasn't beating anybody off the dribble. Yeah, he was. But then he had that. I mean, I think the overarching question around the league, yeah, I mean, he can have those – Wemby can have those crazy nights offensively sometimes. He's not there yet offensively, though, which is kind of scary. But right now, it's how do you score? How do you generate enough offense in order to beat them? And without those two playmakers, I mean, it was just the perfect storm for the Thunder, unfortunately, because the two guys that weren't there were the other creators of offense with Dub and Mitchell. And it was just, I mean, there was lots of times where that offense was stuck in the mud. I've got this stat, and this goes against everything we think we see from the Thunder. And a lot of reason why, especially in that building, teams have a hard time winning. If I said, what is the biggest reason Oklahoma City lost that series? From maybe like a statistical or a what would you say?
I thought shooting wasn't as great as it could have been.
Fast break points. The Spurs, and we talked about it, you have to speed up because when they get the defense set, it's hard to score in the half court.
Right.
The Spurs dominated in the open floor. You just don't see that happen to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City won the fast break points one time, and that was game one. They were outscored 111-59. They only generated 59 fast break points in 7 games. That is phenomenal by the Spurs. Defensive transition, getting back. And then from there, once they got back, man, it's just hard to score on them because of him.
Right.
And then I'll be darned if one of the biggest plays down the stretch in the game wasn't when Oklahoma City was in transition. And Luke Cornett, I mean, that block he had on iHeart was awesome. Like almost like a game sealer type play. That to me, that was sort of the outside of the individual stuff. That was the overarching theme of this series was the Spurs were able to get out and get easy buckets off of their defense. The Thunder weren't. I mean, the Spurs had more turnovers per game than the Thunder would, yet they would outscore them in transition. And they did a great job of not letting it get out of hand and getting their defense set. And then from there, Oklahoma City just had a hard time scoring. And so I think that's a big part of it. Lots of Chet conversations. And I can't decide where I'm at, to be real honest with you. On one hand, I totally understand. He was a no-show. He took 2 shots. He fumbled passes. He fumbled rebounds. I mean, obviously, offensive rebounding was a major key the other night for San Antonio, in Game 7 specifically. So I totally understand the thinking of, I don't care how good Chet is against 28 other teams, because this one's the one he's going to have to be good against. And it does look like he is scared to death of Wembanyama. It does. And if you don't want to use scared, you can use intimidated. You can use whatever adjective you want to use about what it looks like. But he was not the same player against San Antonio as he was in the LA and the Phoenix series. He wasn't. He wasn't even attempting to be the same player. You know, the play down there, once Wemby got his 5th foul, it was mano-a-mano. And Chet he passed it away once, got it back, went down the baseline, fell down, and shoveled it back out to somebody that was guarded right by their bench. Instead of just run through him, make him call a charge. Or maybe they call a block, and he's done. And that obviously makes the path back that much easier. But he wanted no part of it, or he looked like he wanted no part of it. On the other hand, he's 24. He still has a lot of growth, but I think why people are on the get rid of him is this isn't something that he can go in the lab, quote unquote, over the summer and figure out.
Right.
This is something that he's going to have. I mean, he's going to have to. I can't say what I want to say. Find more intestinal fortitude in order to play against that guy. And it's the questions surrounding that, or the doubt that people have in the capability of him doing that, is well-founded in my mind because of what we saw in this series. And I thought to myself, well, if you don't want to do anything in the offseason, like in the summer, well, let's see what happens, who cares what happens in the regular season? Who cares? Because it's not the same game. It's just not. There's back-to-backs. There's all that. I mean, so you're not going to – I guess the question here is, are you going to waste another year of playoff series against them and see the same results and then decide, okay, enough's enough? Or are you going to do it right now? Have you already made that choice with him against Wemby? Where are you at?
I'm at the youth thing. I think I'm more of a second chance guy anyway, so I'm like, excuse me. Failure against this team and against that individual one time doesn't necessarily, for me, say throw him away. But, and then because of the youth thing, I was high on Chet at the season started. He looked like clearly an all-star guy, and I was even going a step further thinking at some point in his career he will be mentioned in MVP conversations, but he won't if he can't figure out this Wemby problem mentally. It's a youth thing, I think. It's a young thing. Let's see where he is, where he's at in the offseason. I don't think Sam either is going to just quickly react and go, I'm done with him, moving on from him. Might find a way to, I don't know, and that's Dagnall's going to figure that out too. Is like, how do I still have Chet on this team and still have more success against San Antonio and Wemby? But it might take someone like an Evan Mobley coming in, showing him the ropes, maybe find a veteran guy, but I'm not ready to throw him out just yet. I think he just needs to figure this out, and it is a mental thing, a total mental thing. The ability's there. It's always been there. And he's had at some point, some success, not sustained success against Wemby, but even before their time in the league, we know it's been well documented. But he needs to refine that confidence. So I'm not ready to throw him out just yet.
The guy took 2 shots in Game 7 without 2 of the best 4 players. How is that even possible?
Again, that's a mental thing he needs to get over. It's a hurdle he needs to figure out.
By the way, can we take the Alex Caruso as the Western Conference MVP promo off, please? We did caveat through 5 games. We start pointing. I mean, his 3 of 14 obviously hurt. And that's the only game he really kind of had like that. But it was so much reminiscent of the Christmas Day game when he was like, 1 of 10 or 1 of 11 from 3. But I think that when you start dissecting issues in Game 7, unfortunately for him, that arrow is going to be pointed straight at the chest of Chet Holmgren. Because when you think about the problems that were had, it's stuff that he's supposed to negate. Rebounding. He's supposed to get rebounds. He had 4. He took 2 shots in 33 minutes. Here's a question that I was debating with some people that night. If either, and especially Dub, would have been healthy, do you think Dagnall pulls the plug on him? I mean, Chet played 33 minutes. If Dub was available, what's that number? I mean, because it was clear, right? I mean, from the very beginning, Wemby slammed it in his face to make the score like 8-4, and that was it.
Right.
That was the end of Chet Holmgren with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter of that game. That was it. He was done. But there wasn't. What was the other option? I guess Jay Will, maybe. I mean, he played 26 minutes, and he was the only Thunder player that was a plus in the plus-minus. But when Jay Will has got 11 and 10 rebounds, and Chet has 4 and 4, I completely understand the frustration and the anger that Thunder fans have with Chet Holmgren. And, oh, by the way, he's the lone top 5 pick on the roster. That doesn't help him. And I think just the body language of it all. He just looked scared to death.
So to answer your question about what it would look like, Chet's minutes, that is, if this was a 100% healthy team, I'd almost counter that with he probably plays looser when he knows that he has more help. There's more reinforcements on the floor. What J-Dub creates, what AJ has learned to create, maybe that loosens him up, and maybe it doesn't really affect his minutes, but maybe it does, where he Dagnall say, hey, it's not your night. I'm comfortable pulling you off the court, getting J-Dub his minutes. Whatever works. Every game is different. You know, he was good in Game 5, Chet was, consistently enough to be what we wanted him to be. And 6 and 7 were not good for him, and the majority of the series was not good for him. But we saw what he can do, and that just every game flows different. Like, okay, he's not feeling it tonight. I need to get him off the court. But I see what you're saying. Without J-Dub, without AJ, you have to play him.
And how many games did we talk about this I know regular season's not the same, but how many times did we talk about, oh, yeah, it'd be nice if Chet would go score 25 and he never does it. Right. He never does it. And he doesn't even seem to have – it's not like he wasn't doing it by going out there and going 6 of 25. You know what I mean? He wasn't trying to do it. And I think that's where people are frustrated because you're right. He is a skilled basketball player. He is the second best defensive player in the league. Now, there's a wide gap between where he is and where Wemby is. And those dudes from the little dudes weren't scared of him. That's what is frustrating, I think. It's one thing if Wemby just dunks it in your face. It's another when De'Aaron Fox is going right through you and you can't block his shot. You know what I mean? Like, right. The guards weren't scared of him from San Antonio.
Right.
They had no fear, which was completely the opposite on the other end, where you saw the MVP dribble in the lane and go, never mind, I'm going to do something else. Chet doesn't, at least against that team, and that's the biggest problem for him right now, is nobody cares what he does against 28 other teams now.
Right.
And by the way, probably shouldn't care because that is the team. These two are going to be the ones battling for that Western Conference title, if not the NBA title, for the foreseeable future. And if that's what he's going to throw out there in the most important game of the season, I think that's SGA said all the right things yesterday. I don't need to tell him. He knows. He'll figure it out. All the right things. But, man, if you had Jim's truth serum in those guys, what are they thinking about what they saw from him? Not only in Game 7, but the whole series. He just didn't look like he wanted any part of being who he's got to be in order for Oklahoma City to beat that team.
Right.
And if that's going to be the case, then what's the point? What's the point of having him? And what are the other options? I mean, it's obvious what people are talking about. And there's with Giannis and how he could possibly match up with Victor Wembanyama in a different way than Holmgren can. I mean, he's obviously so much stronger, and more well-equipped physically to battle that. Now, what does it cost you? In terms of, I've seen some wild trades that, for me, give up too much to get him because I'm not totally sure how that fit is anyhow with his lack of shooting. It's well documented. Now, does that is it negated by his strength inside where he can sort of bully Wemby a little bit? Maybe. I just don't know if that's – I mean, somebody's going to have to try it eventually to kind of bully him, but I don't know how much hay you're going to put in the barn trying to bully Victor Wembanyama when he's a foot taller than everybody on the floor. You know, it's just it's a problem. It is going to be a decade or so long problem from anybody trying to play them being San Antonio because of his – I mean, he's a once-in-a-generation or two type guy that you're going to have to figure out how to solve. And, yeah, I know he's going to get better offensively. I totally get that. But I think the main issue is figuring out how to score against them because of the impact he has on the defensive end and what that allows the rest of those guys to do. I don't think, in my heart of hearts, I don't think Presti has never been reactionary like this.
Nah.
But has there ever been a situation more suited and calling for reactionary moves than what we saw in this series and especially on Saturday night?
Yeah, the way Sam reacts is that I don't see him making anything drastic because making a move to attempt to beat San Antonio just for next season, that's why I don't like the Evan Mobley talk. I don't know how old he is.
He's just like 1 year older than Chet.
Okay.
Well, draft-wise.
Giving up, I don't know, we can't use all the picks, and those are drying up a little bit, but
he is the piece. That's the thing. When you think about how you can get somebody that's going to truly impact this situation, he is the piece that attracts the most value back. And if that goes hand in hand with him not wanting any part of what it's going to of the guy that you're going to have to go through, then you see how it makes sense. I would be pretty surprised if it happens.
I would be too.
Another
piece of this puzzle is if that is something he's entertaining, the other teams might go, we don't want the scared kid who doesn't want to play Wemby. Why would we want him? We want to be contenders too. He doesn't make us better.
Well, if you're Milwaukee, you can at least go, he gets us to the finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He at least helps us get to the finals. And they're in Milwaukee is in between a rock and a hard place anyway because it's fairly obvious the Giannis deal is over. So what are you going to do, let him walk? Be disgruntled?
Oh, no.
Send him home?
No.
I mean, you're going to have to get
We, of all people, know you got to
That's right.
get something out of a guy.
Yeah, and they know he's disgruntled, and they know he wants out of there, and the Thunder didn't. They got left holding the bag, thinking that Durant wasn't going anywhere. It's going to be it's going to be a crazy offseason. I don't know if that's the move that's made, but I think with what we saw, this has always sort of been a talking point because of how they play. Case and Wallace has always seemed like the logical Lou Dort replacement. I think that became even more apparent in this series game. I mean, let's be honest, Case and Wallace and Jay Will were the only two out there on Saturday that appeared they were ready for the moment. I mean, Wallace drilled 6 threes. Really kind of kept him and obviously SGA kept the Thunder afloat in a long part of that game. I would be shocked if Dort is back. I think that's ran its course. And once again, another guy that against that team, yeah, he's great at guarding some people. He really didn't have a place in this series. And I understand the idea of not being so San Antonio focused with your moves and whatnot, but I think you have to be because they aren't going anywhere. It's not like they're not going anywhere for a while. And so these moves that you make targeting them, they're going to have to not only make sense for next, they're going to have to make sense for a while to be able to stay. I mean, to stay on the same level as what we saw, or who knows? Presti may go. You know what? It was just bad luck, injury-wise. If we have AJ and Dub, we win the title, and we'll run it back. It's not going to be the same team. There's going to be additions and subtractions in some way, but it may not be the major one that everybody wants to see happen. And right now, I think a majority of the Thunder fan base is like, all right, let's do this Giannis thing, get Chet out of here, and see what happens there. And
I'm more on the side.
If that happens, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm more on the side of, and I try to say this without sounding like injecting excuses of why they lost this series, but I think it is a very big reason why they've lost this series was the health. So I'm more on the side of the what if, a full offseason. We're not even talking about a full offseason where J-Dub and AJ can get healthy, hopefully 100% healthy going into the next season. J-Dub was never healthy this year. There's always something. And because I really feel like if they were there, they would win this series. I feel like they'll take game one. And
well, they were there for game one.
Not 100% though, so I that's where I'm at. It's like that's where I think Presti has a calmer head about it. I'm not going to react to this because I know what personnel we had in the latter parts of this series. So I'm not going to freak out. I think who on the floor matters for those who don't have the ball. Like Chet, I think if it's that's that core that was last year that we thought we were going to get this year, mainly J-Dub, I feel like the approach is a little bit different for Chet maybe mentally, but that's where I think Sam's thinking is like, I'm not going to go crazy, make a drastic move. Now he's going to have to do some stuff, like I said, out of necessity to balance the books. But honestly, right now, I'm waking up thinking I'd be shocked if they move Chet.
Yeah, I don't think they will, but I understand if it happens. All right, we come back, hit the spring sports coming up today. What happened over the weekend there? Wrapping up a Rother Brothers Monday. Oh, by the way, Gabe alerted us to this earlier. Today is almost like a national holiday.
Right.
We'll tell you what that is as well. Skinny on Sports wrapping up a Monday next. Right here on 98.1 FM, The Sports Animal.
Rother Brothers Equipment in Clinton is now hiring well-qualified service technicians. If you have 2 or more years of experience repairing heavy agricultural equipment, strong troubleshooting skills, and the ability to read hydraulic and electrical schematics, this could be a great fit for you. Benefits include 401k with profit sharing, 100% employee paid health insurance with eye and dental, paid vacation, holidays, uniforms, and paid service training. This is a great earnings opportunity for qualified candidates. Apply in person at Highway 183 North in Clinton, Oklahoma. Rother Brothers Equipment.
The Skinny on Sports.
It's in the hose!
Welcome back. Wrapping up Rother Brothers Monday right here on the Skinny on Sports. Also, a big thank you to our friends at G&E Elite Exteriors. From TPO and metal roofing to classic shingles, they handle residential commercial projects with expert craftsmanship. Need a free inspection, a full roof replacement, or help with an insurance claim? They're fully licensed, insured, and ready 24/7. Call Adrian Jackson at G&E Elite Exteriors today, 405-549-5854. Visit GEEliteexteriors.com. It is National Holiday, Jared.
Yeah, it is.
The lottery for the Masters tickets has opened. Masters.com. Get you an account. Go try to be one of the lucky ones that gets tickets into the Masters.
Well, like I said when that was text out to the work group, is that I am more likely to get struck by lightning than get tickets to the Masters. I feel like I keep applying and applying and applying.
I can tell you it happens. My buddy's won it 3 times in like a decade.
It's rigged. It's just like Jimmy winning raffles.
Yeah.
Somehow it's rigged. Somehow your buddy is rigging the system.
I don't know how he's doing it, but I appreciated him doing it 2 years ago.
Probably because the first time he got it, he actually went and showed them, I will come if I win. You don't think it's anything like that?
He didn't.
He didn't go.
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so that's today. I think it closes into the month.
As pessimistic as I am, I will still sign
that's the first
up.
thing I'm doing as soon as we're done here. Going and getting that done. All right, so college baseball, we got a win and you're in for Oklahoma today down in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. Man, they had some bad luck weather-wise. Seems like it's been a grind for them, having to play twice on Saturday and then winning 2 yesterday. Scoring 15 runs in both wins, 15-5 against Citadel, 15-8 over Georgia Tech to force the if necessary game today. That's at 2 o'clock. So the Sooners with the chance to not even be the Cinderella. That's obviously St. Mary, or St. Mary's the one that knocked out number 1 UCLA, beat them twice. So UCLA, the number 1 overall seed, is out. Oklahoma has a chance to knock out the number 2 seed Georgia Tech. Milwaukee, who is 27-32 this season, already beat Auburn once. They've got a chance to knock out the 4 seed in Auburn. You got Troy against Florida, the 8 seed. Florida State's got to beat St. John's twice today as the 10 seed. So this baseball tournament could be kind of turned on its head a little bit with some major seeds going out. So OU 2 o'clock down in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. That's a win in your end game after what the Sooners did yesterday. A really good comeback by them.
They played them good in the first game too, and then it got away from them late. And that was happening at the same time as Game 7, so I was just kind of following the box on that. But then the explosion of runs yesterday after the grand slam from the Canadian, I forget his name, but leading home run hitter for OU.
Trocky.
Something like that, yeah. And, I mean, the runs, they scored a lot of runs against the Citadel in their first game yesterday, so you'd hope that hot bat continues for the Sooners. I just wonder about pitching and who's available, but so too Georgia Tech. You know, you're pushing them to the limit, too, in the rotation. Should be a fun one.
You've also got Oklahoma State battled back and had a chance to win that game last night. I think looking back at their super regional,
can't lose that first.
The regional, the first game, and because of pitching. I mean, that just, man, and they really a crazy comeback at the end to beat Alabama State and not go 2-Q, and then beat Upstate yesterday easily, and then was 11 innings, 3-run home run in the 11th inning from Alabama, and they ended up losing 9-7. So Oklahoma State's season ends in the regional. The Women's College World Series, man, it's been crazy. There's been so much crazy stuff happening. But
drama?
There's been tons of drama. But we get Tennessee and Texas in one semifinal, Alabama and Tech in the other. So with everything that's happened, we still may get the first and second seeds playing each other in the championship series. Texas got to beat Tennessee twice in order for that to happen, and then Alabama just with needing one win over Tech. We got to see the end of that Tech UCLA game last night, and watching how that all transpired was pretty crazy. So that's been fun. And then finally today, you've got the final stroke play round out at La Costa in the men's national tournament. Oklahoma right on the cusp. We got to be in the top 8. They made the 15, top 15 yesterday. Oklahoma State there as well. See, the Auburn's leading at 22 under. Oklahoma State is tied for 4th at 8 under par, and they've got an 8-shot lead over OU. OU's 9th at even. 1 behind Duke, and then it's 6 shots up to North Carolina. So totally doable for both in-state schools, obviously, to make it into the match play portion of the national tournament. Ryder Cowan with a nice round yesterday, 3 under par, to really kind of carry OU. There for a little bit they were in pretty good shape, and then a little bit of a stumble down toward the end team-wise, but Ryder held it together nicely, shooting 3 under par, bogey-free 69 out at La Costa. The only Sooner under par, but they needed every one of those shots to stay right there. Even par round yesterday. So they're 1 behind Duke, 6 behind North Carolina, and then OSU, the defending national champions, tied for 4th at 8 under. So they've got a pretty decent cushion there, 8 shots over Oklahoma, plus 4 teams right around them as well. So, you know, with the experience, the same team that won it last year there for the Cowboys, you feel pretty good about them. Preston Stout from OSU, who has had an unbelievable spring, Big 12 Player of the Year, won multiple tournaments. He shot 7 under, bogey-free yesterday to take the individual lead, 11 under total. And that goes along to kind of with how he's been playing throughout the season, and especially here in the spring. He's been awesome. And so that's not really a surprise to see him after a 1 over par first round. He's 12 under the last 2 rounds and holds a 1-shot lead over 3 guys in the race for the individual national champion. So that'll wrap up today, and then hopefully we'll have some golf to talk about tomorrow. And you never know kind of where they're going to end up, but there's definitely a chance that we could see Bedlam in a match play situation here at Nationals. It would probably have to be, if it was going to be in the first round, it would probably have to be OU playing really well and OSU getting up to that 3rd spot, and then OU figuring out a way to get 6th. Also a chance at Red River. It's Texas at number 2, OU down there at 9. Just like I said, 6 shots behind North Carolina for 7th. So that those two things, all that remains possible with what happens this afternoon. And I think it's finally going to be on the Golf Channel this afternoon. So we'll get to watch the end. I think coverage starts at like 3:30 or 4:30. So that'll be cool. I can't remember if it was 3:30 our time or 4:30 our time. I think 4:30 our time today. So that'll be as the Sooners are kind of beginning to finish up with their first tee time. I think 1:36 is the first tee time today for OU out there at the national tournament. So Sooners and Cowboys both in definitely contending spots to play tomorrow in the match play portion of the national tournament. So lots of fun stuff.
Very cool.
Which is on the East Coast. That way it'd finish up a little earlier. But it's not. All right, everybody have a great Rother Brothers Monday. We'll be back tomorrow. What do you think the 2 o'clock show is going to be about?
A lot of
Chet.
A lot of quote unquote love for Chet.
Everybody have a great day.
You've been listening to the Skinny on Sports podcast with Aaron Cow. Be sure to hit that subscribe button to get alerts of when the latest podcast is available. Thanks for listening.
That ball is